It's Morphin time! Triceratops!
Hey there everyone, No DMAA here coming at you with a Mighty Morphin Blue Ranger deck profile. His name is Billy. I got here our usual Heroes of the Grid Blue Ranger player, Cdogg Corey. Say hello, Corey.
Hey everybody.
Yeah, so we're going to be talking about Billy. For those who don't know, Billy is the Mighty Morphin Blue Ranger. He is the only Power Ranger from Mighty Morphin who made it through all 3 seasons without changing his color, without getting replaced or nothing like that. He stayed the whole time. He was there for all Mighty Morphin and most of Zeo, and played by David Yost. Yeah, and then Corey is the one who plays him the most. So we will be talking about the deck build, his the previous sessions we've had with him, which were like a majority of them. Like literally the only time he has not played Billy was the Zeo Ranger session, where we forced him to play Rocky. That's the only time. Every other time he's played with us, he's played Billy, or Billy plus someone else. But yeah, all right. We can talk about the deck build first. Swords. How Billy feels, what kind of ranger he is in the games. Yeah, Corey, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, all right. So, well, we'll start off with Billy. Billy Cranston's ability, Strategize. Once per battle, a ranger of my choice can draw 1 card and then place 1 card from their hand back on top of their deck. I really like this ability for when deck sizes are getting smaller for particular rangers. They can, if searching for a defensive piece or are searching for another a finishing attack to end that round's battle. It's very good for doing that. For Billy specifically, because of his defensive card abilities by revealing cards off the top of the deck when taking damage. This can also be really good for Billy to stack the top of his deck so that when you pull those off of the top, you're getting all of those extra abilities. Really crucial in boss rounds for getting extra energy, getting extra damage cross through, taking out certain enemies with guard. When we get into the actual deck and my thoughts on the cards in the deck, that'll become apparent. So yeah, the reason I chose Billy, I've always loved Billy since I was a kid with Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Playing in the neighborhood, I was always the one who got stuck last with it, and just Billy, he's just really good. I really like playing more of a defensive role in some games and kind of playing that support, I guess, is a better word for it. Playing those support abilities, nobody ever wants to play support. It's always the last to get picked. It doesn't do anything super fun. It doesn't do anything super flashy, but I believe that Billy does. So that's about it for the hero. If we go into the next items, I think we'll go into Zords.
Yes.
So the standard Zord, Triceratops, exhaust that card to allow a ranger to choose up to 2 cards from their discard and return them to the top of their deck in any order. I really like targeting myself with this ability just to stack the top of the deck with the defensive reveals of gaining energy or dealing the extra damage. I really do... it's okay to pass it on to the other rangers. Really towards the end of rounds when deck sizes start to get a little bit smaller and we're really worried about the life total as your deck size is your life total.
Oh, yeah.
It can get rangers out of a jam. And allowing them to finish their turn before they get knocked out. And for myself, it's nice just getting my defensive abilities. It is my -- 1 choice for Zord. It's universal across the board for all rangers.
Right.
I think our next one, we've got the blue Shogun Zord. Exhaust that during a battle. You gain 1 energy and deal 1 damage to a card of my choice. I really like this because it's just a freebie. You get 1 free energy to add to the pool that any ranger can use. I can use it myself. It also just deals 1 flat damage. I really like it for... I like to use it towards the end of a battle or at the start if we need to get some of the team comps that we've done before. They need to have damage markers on them. And so it can really start off a combo with putting that 1 damage on a unit at the start of battle so that we can kind of get those combos rolling very early on. It also, the 1 damage can be used if we need to take out a guard enemy and that's only got 1 damage left on it. It's very easy for just doing that 1 damage to then free up the board for the other rangers to combo and do what they need to do. It's very vanilla. It is my second favorite.
Fair enough.
Yeah. My third favorite here is the Blue Wolf Ninja Zord. We exhaust this card when a ranger takes damage. we reduce that damage by 2. That ranger then may look at the top card of their deck and swap it with the card from their hand. It reduces damage by 2, which is incredible. Being able to look at the top card of your deck at any point in time to see what's coming up is also great because those shield values really do matter. For Billy specifically, a running theme with this is going to be me revealing the cards off the top of my deck to get those defensive abilities. There are some really good attacks in it, but the main purpose of the deck is to get the cards off of the top of the deck, to get the extra energies, to get the extra damages. This is really good too towards the end when a ranger is getting low on deck size. If they have only a 1 defense card left on the top of their deck, they can put that into hand and put a 3 cost on top of the deck, which then would be for a total of 5 defense, which is just really great because then that saves them that last card in their deck to prolong that ranger's outside field range.
Yeah.
The last one, and this is I've only used it 1 time. Unfortunately, we finished that encounter and that session before we all got our Zords. So this one, you exhaust this card, you get to choose a number of cards in a ranger's discard with up to 4 shields. Place them on the top of the deck in any order. I like this. 90% of the time, I would use this to put 4 shield value on top of my deck, just because the deck is really about all of that defensive stuff. Like the running theme amongst these is also saving the other rangers. A lot of rangers will have multi-card combos with other rangers on the field, and you will really start to get to a point in which that deck size starts to get really small. So it can, 4 shield value could be 4 cards, could be 3 cards, could be 2 cards. In most cases, it's going to be 2 cards minimum, which is really nice. I think that is it for my blue Zord choices.
Yeah.
So I think at this point in time, we'll head to the deck.
Yeah, let's talk about the deck.
I'm going to start this off with cost of card lowest, and going up to the finishing pieces, which are technically the higher cost cards. My favorite card in the deck are 2 copies of Knowledge's Power. This is a maneuver that can be played at any point in time with my action. You gain an energy. A ranger of my choice can search their deck for a card. If they do, they then place that 1 card and shuffle. It's incredibly good to start the round if there's a particular card to negate a villain ability, whether that's a minion or one of the bosses. A lot of the times when the cards get revealed for that battle round, there's usually 1 or 2 cards that stick out that need to be dealt with immediately before the rest of the board can be dealt, or knocking out a couple of minions so that we can make it further into the battle without having to take a lot of that damage up front. I just really like this card. I think it is one of the best cards in the deck. There's no defensive ability for it. It is 2 shield value, but you gain an energy off of it for absolutely nothing. Yeah, I think that's about it for that one.
Right. I personally like that card too. I like getting something from you. Thanks.
Yeah, it's most of the time I'm not grabbing it. It's usually somebody else, because if used in later in the round, it's really good because it's like, hey, we've all depleted our hand. Nobody has a really good card that we want to get rid of to just for our 1 dice attack by pitching that card. If we've got a lot of energy in the pool at that point in time, which most of the time we do, if a ranger doesn't have a card to finish that battle, like a Blade Blaster that we'll talk about later on, it's really good at helping another ranger get a card to finish off that round.
Agreed.
Our next one is going to be Counter Jab. We got 2 copies of that. This is 1 dice plus 1 automatic damage. It's really good to finish an enemy card because it just automatically deals 1 damage. This one, what we talked about earlier with the Black Star abilities, if this card is revealed for defense, you get to deal 1 damage to an enemy card of my choice. I absolutely love this card. It's automatic 1 damage if you're using it for an attack, and if you get hit with it on defense, you're dealing 1 automatic damage. There really isn't a ton to say about this card. It's a really good utility piece for the middle of the round. It's a revealed for defense, it's not just specific to the minion damage. So some of the locations that we use that have the advanced abilities that deal damage, we've unfortunately ripped this off the top a couple of times when we took board damage and not villain damage. So that kind of puts a downside on it. But for the most part, it's going to be dealing 1 damage automatically if it's played from my hand, or it's going to be dealing 1 damage if it's ripped off the top from my deck. Our next card is Tactical Strike. Tactical Strike is 2 dice attack. This is my favorite attack to play from hand. It is 0 cost. It is 2 dice. After you play this card, you can put it back on the top of the deck instead of discarding it. As everybody knows, or anybody following along, or if you're not familiar with it, when you run out of cards in your deck, that's it. You have to return back to the command center and use one of our resources to regenerate or redeploy to the field. So being able to play a card and then immediately put it back on top of your deck instead of just losing that card, those are always some of my favorite cards because they are the ultimate utility piece. Could be 0 damage, it depends on the rolls, or it could be a total of 4 damage, and then it goes back to the top. It's got 2 shield value, so it's good for defense. You know, being able to use it, if you know that you're going to have an attack incoming that's only going to be dealing 1 to 2 damage, it's easy for me to stop and say, hey, let me attack for these 2 dice, put it on the top. We'll let the attack come through, and I know that I'm going to rip those 2 shields off the top. Knowing what's on top of your deck is probably one of the best things I can think of for this deck. We're going to get into our higher cost cards. This is 1 cost. I know it's not a higher cost, but it is a higher cost when most of the rest of the deck are 0 costs. This is 3 dice attack. It's a really good attack for 1. If it's revealed for defense with the Black Star ability, you gain 1 energy. It has 3 shields. I love this card. I say that about every card, but it really it's best for its defensive ability for gaining that. It's not bad on the attack side for 1 cost for 3 dice. What I was joking about earlier, I always roll poorly on this attack. I don't think I have ever rolled more than 2 damage on one of these attacks, which 2 damage doesn't sound bad, except when you're trying to finish a round and you really just need to hit that 4 damage. I've never been able to do it. It has 3 shield value. It's incredibly good for being on top of the deck. You know, it is very much the defensive deck, so 3 shields with the Black Star ability of gaining 1 energy. It feels good to rip off the top. Not so much for attacking for me, but it is still a good attack, just based on value. The next one that we're going to get into, we're going to show this part first. This is the 3 cost. This is the big attack. 3 costs, 4 dice. After you play this, you get to put it on top instead of discarding it. So just like we had earlier with our Tactical Strike, this is a 3 cost, 3 shield. So it's a good card to have on top of the deck for the 3 shield ability. It does have 4 dice. I have rolled quite well for some of these. There's not really a ton to say about it. It's kind of a vanilla card, really, but I mean, it's got 3 defense. Billy's kind of his is about the defense. Oh yeah. And so on occasion, I think only 1 time I've swapped it out with the Stroke of Genius, which is from the Forever Blue expansion pack. It's 3 cost, 2 dice attack. You get to add 1 dice for each card in your hand. A lot of the times, Billy will have a lot of cards in hand to start the round. If you can use it early on, it's quite nice. However, it does have a Black Star ability. If it is revealed for defense, you can draw the bottom card of your deck. If you do, you get to add the shield value of that card to this card. So the ability to put this card on top with, say, Billy's ability or with Zord ability, being able to put that on top when a big attack comes through is absolutely critical. It did, I believe it saved us 1 turn, being able to pull it off the top because of the shield. Everybody has 20 shields, but I think it ended up defending for a total of 6 maximum, which was incredible just because it saved it. Plus, when you reveal it for defense, if it's over the attack value, you get to add it back to the bottom of your deck. So just being able to continuously cycle those cards into deck to make sure that Billy really's always got a deck of 3 to 4 cards, I would say, is pretty common. So that's that. That's from the Forever Blue. The big one of this is Blade Blaster. This is the last card of the actual deck. Blade Blaster is the ultimate attack of the game. If we specifically talk about base set. There are some other Rangers that have this. This is not unique to the deck. I can't remember if it's 2 or 3 of the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers have Blade Blaster.
I think it's all of them.
I know. Yeah, I think they all have them.
Even Tommy.
Even Tommy has one. So this card is really great. It's X value. The amount of X that you spend is the amount of damage that this card deals, which is spreadable across the entire board. It's really great for collecting all of that energy early on in the round, and then being able to finish a battle with the Blade Blaster always feels great. You've seen it in some of the videos.
Oh, yeah.
In one of their newer sessions, it was the last final attack of the game, and it was just a cathartic attack that was incredible.
Oh, yeah.
I have switched this out one time. I feel like if a lot of Rangers have this, it's kind of going to be a dead card in somebody's deck. It only has 1 shield value. It doesn't have any on-defense abilities. So for Billy, I'm really okay with getting rid of this card. What we do is, I believe the last time that I did swap it out, I swapped it out with Windstars Align. This is also from the Forever Blue pack. It is an attack special. You can 0 cost, 1 shield. When swapping out with the Forever packs, you just match shield value, maximum of 20 in deck. You add 1 die to the card for each with the Black Star ability. Billy has a lot of Black Star abilities. Most of the Black Star abilities are going to be in the discard pile. They're not going to be in the deck. So if you've got 2 to 3, you've got 2 to 3 dice that you're going to be rolling on this. This card itself also has a Black Star ability. If that is revealed for defense, it gains the star abilities of cards in the discard pile, not named Windstars Align. So if I've got one of each of my cards, I could potentially be gaining the Vanguard Rangers 2 to 3 energy, or could potentially be dealing 2 to 3 damage, or could potentially be doing 2 damage and gaining 2 energy off of a defensive ability. I really like that. If another Ranger in the party has Blade Blaster, Blade Blaster doesn't feel good in Billy, in my opinion.
That's fair.
Obviously, these are all my opinions of just playing this. I did play Rocky. I do like Rocky as a Ranger. I do like Rocky as a Ranger in the game and in the television show. Completely different style of play, but fairly similar.
That's fair. Yeah.
That's it for the deck.
I think we went through all the cards already.
I think, we went over Billy's abilities. We went over the Zords. We went over the deck and some of the swaps.
Yeah, for sure. Do you think Billy's probably the best Blue Ranger for you, huh?
I think that Billy is the best Blue Ranger for me, just because of my attachment from childhood Ranger days. In the game, I did like Rocky in the party comp that we did for the Zeo Rangers, because the Zeo Rangers really do kind of... they work really well together. All of the Ranger abilities do. When playing in the parties, we do have a lot of attack. Or we have a lot of special, or we have a lot of comboing off maneuvers. And so playing a Ranger that I really like and being able to play that support role, I would say that Billy in Heroes of the Grid is my favorite Ranger.
Oh, yeah. I think he's very versatile, too, because every combination, we've all changed it up, like, so many times, but every time you've been Billy, you've been so helpful, like, every single time, no matter what combination we've done. So I think that's really cool that Billy can do that. Like, he can just slot in and just help. Kind of like his role in the TV show when he came back. Like, he just slots back in and helps the new generation of Power Rangers, That's just Billy. So I like the flavor on that. But yeah. Thank you for doing this interview.
Yeah,
Corey.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody, for watching.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we'll do more of these in the future. We'll see more of Cdogg and Uncle Sanguine and all the other Rangers, including myself, doing deck profiles. So keep a lookout, alright, y'all? Alright, may the power protect you. We'll see y'all for the next video, alright? Bye!